browsers have basically standardized. This is great. I have all kinds of stuff popping up on my screen, and yet this is pristine. It's fabulous. Browsers have actually standardized on keyboard shortcuts for a lot of common things. So it doesn't matter if you're using Internet Explorer or Firefox or Chrome or Opera. You can use the same keystrokes and do the same things. So we're going to do a little quiz here. What does that do? Anybody know? New window. Yeah. Easy. Start out with the easy ones. I want to make you feel good about that. What's this one? New tab. One of our favorites. How about this one? Close tab. Or the window if there's only one tab. Yep. Wow, you guys are good. I have to go look all this stuff up before this presentation. How about this? Not bookmark. Oh, stumped you. What is it? Location bar. Yeah. Set focus to the address bar. A is for address. Oh, Control L? Yeah, we'll throw that in there too. Does the exact same thing. Why? Probably because at one point one browser did one thing and one browser did the other, and then they all just said, we'll just do it. Control E. What was that? Search bar. Very good. So what's very interesting is that, remember initially all the browsers had a separate address bar and search bar, so they actually had separate keystrokes. But now with all of the browsers moving to the single address bar, search bar thing, they all still actually use these same shortcuts, except when you do Control E, it puts a question mark first in the address bar, which tells it that you want to search instead of type in URL. So very good, gold star, whoever that was. Okay, and these are probably some ones that you're familiar with, right? Zoom in, Control plus, Control minus to zoom out, Control 0, just get back to base level. I'm probably thinking at this point, is he going to do his whole presentation on keyboard shortcuts? Yes, I am. And then I started using these ones a lot, right? Control tab, go to the next tab. How many people use Control tab on a day-to-day basis? Okay, the rest of you, that's your homework. Go home and try it. Control tab. Control shift tab. What? Go in the other direction. That's right. Power. And then you can also mimic the forward button with Alt and right arrow, and Alt and left arrow for back button, which is pretty cool. You can also use backspace as the back button, but only if you don't have focus in a text field. So I tend to use the Alt ones instead just because of that. So we have all of these really great keyboard shortcuts supported by all of the different browsers that you can use. And so now that is how I navigate around the web. That's how I use the web browsers. So let's talk about navigating within the browser, actually in a page. And I like to call that navigating the web with focus. It's not with intent, right, but with focus, because focus is a very important concept on the web. So you have links, right? These click here links. And then sometimes you see like this weird little rectangle around it, right? And, well, sometimes. We'll get to that. Some people think it's ugly, and argument can be made it's a little bit ugly, but this is like the most important thing to me as a keyboard-only user to be able to navigate the web, because that tells me where the input focus is. What that means is whatever keys that I'm typing, that's the element that's going to get those keystrokes, right? And so because I'm not using a mouse, I need to know where that input is going to go, because I'm not moving a mouse and clicking a button. Right? I'm trying to get to that button in a different way. And focus is the way that I navigate around web pages. And I do that using 3 keys, basically. So there's the tab key, and that moves forward between links and form controls. And you can actually see the focus moving around as you're doing that. There's the Enter key, which activates the currently focused link or button. So once I have a link highlighted, I can press Enter, and then I can navigate there. And then once again, my friend Shift can Shift Tab and go backwards. Right? And so I'm just going to switch over to the browser here for a second. So basically, I'm using Chrome. Chrome has a different default focus rectangle, which is like a yellowy, fuzzy thing, not unlike Amanda's scarf today. And I'm hoping and praying that you'll actually be able to see it. There it is. Can you guys see that at the top there? Moving across, coming down, coming down. Yeah, so that's really cool. I'm going through and I'm actually navigating from link to link pretty easily. Now, the way that I'm navigating through is the way that those links appear in source order. And so thankfully, I laid it out in a logical way. If you are doing strange things like putting content at the bottom and like a ton of links at the top, that makes it very hard to tab through. And so as I can tab through, I'll just stop on this making an accessible dialog box and press Enter. And you can go through, and I'll just do Alt and go back. And then you can see minor annoyance, the focus starts back up at the top, right? That's okay. You can still just kind of go through and say I missed that or want to go backwards. You can do that. Just join box. That's kind of cool. So that's basically how I go about and navigate the web, right? Is all by using that little focus rectangle. Bam. Is it gone now? All right. And now the interesting thing about that focus rectangle is that it's actually defined as part of the browser style sheet. So this is the WebKit default style sheet. It's what the browser has internally and what it uses when you don't provide any styles. And you can see right there, right, there's just a CSS style that is telling the browser what that focus rectangle should look like. And so that's really cool. Because what that means is you can make custom focus styles as well. And so I could just say, hey, I want my focus to be a 1 pixel solid red outline, and I want to turn the color actually red. And there we go. So now I have a red focus outline and red text, right? No applause for that, please. That was small. That was a little thing. So you can see that. I don't know, can you see that? Just put focus, outline, color, important, which you should never, ever do except when you're live coding on stage and want to prove a point. Other than that, you should never do it. And so you're actually able to create your own focus outlines, which is really cool. What's not cool is you can also eliminate those focus outlines, right? Because it's just CSS. You can go in and put outline 0, that thing's gone. And then I get really sad. So if you ever come across this, I'm begging you, please don't let this happen on your product. And I know the reasons why this happens. I've been in these conversations before. It's usually some product manager or designer walks up to you and says, hey, Nicholas, do you see that rectangle around that thing there? Like, yeah. That's ugly. Can you get rid of that? Like, yeah, I can, but that breaks the web, right? So would you like me to break the web? Yeah, because it's ugly. Right? Not a good conversation to have, and I've had it. And the way to handle that is to say, you know, if you don't like the default outline, tell me what you would like. I can change it. It's just CSS. I can make it red. I can make it blue. I can make it glow. I can give it a shadow. I can make it look however you want when there's focus. And it really doesn't matter. as long as I can tell that there's a difference, I can still use the site. And now the scary part about this, yeah, that's bad, is that you might already be doing this and not even know it. And I've come across this more and more now as I've been going through the web. And that's because how many people use a CSS reset? I'm going to keep going. I'm still looking at all of you using a CSS reset. Yeah. How many of you use Eric Meyer's CSS reset? Just out of curiosity. A few people. Guilty. This is Eric Meyer's CSS reset. The beginning of it, version 1.0. Boom. Right there, in the middle. Outline 0, it's immediately gone from any site that includes this style sheet. Even without you knowing, like you're doing what you think is the right thing using a reset style sheet because it makes your life easier later on. And the intent was that you get to define absolutely every style. But the thing is, a lot of people don't know that this is what defines that focus rectangle, and so they forget or don't even realize that they need to go back in and add that. And so if you're one of those people who raised your hand and I said guilty, don't feel bad because you are not alone.